How you doing, everybody? Thanks for joining us today for another Rolling Over the Hill right here on the Live to Roll channel. And thanks to all of you for being part of the Live to Roll family. Let's thank our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals. They're a great and helpful group of experts that are very much part of the community and can help you with all your rehab equipment as well as your urological needs. So a big thanks to them for sponsoring Live to Roll. On today's show, we'll be discussing sleep issues and how they relate to spinal cord injury and what we can do to help to achieve better sleep. Please make sure to include your questions, comments, and views in the chat, and don't forget to hit that like button. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert Soto. I'm a T12 spinal cord injury from a motorcycle racing accident 51 years ago. So let's get started. Bobby will be joining us in a few. Let's welcome Chad and Paul. What's up, Chad?
Hello, everyone. Chad Dismuke, C56 quadriplegic. Broke my neck diving 30 years ago. Um, yeah, not much. Just getting into the heart of the summer,
Yeah.
trying to adjust to the heat. I got my couple of spray bottles. I bought a new one the other day, and just yeah, pushing through. Happy to be alive. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. It's always good to be alive.
Yeah, Paul, what's
My
up?
name, hey, my name's Paul Gustafson. I'm C56 quad as well, motor vehicle crash, uh, 40 plus years ago, I guess. Um, awesome to be here, and I'm ready to have a nap.
Naps are
Yeah,
always good too.
There
I'm
we
good. I'm
go.
good at napping. And the thing is with sleep, we're going to be discussing sleep today. And I know I have issues with that, and I've had issues for a while. I kind of
Mhm.
just work my way through it. What about you guys?
Yeah, I have as well. It's earlier when I was first hurt, not so much, but in the last number of years, yeah, I struggle with either getting to sleep or more so staying asleep, waking up at night, um, waking up and having to go pee, stuff like that, spasms, all the stuff that we deal with, dyslexia, all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I struggle with it too. How about you,
yeah.
Chad?
Similar. Especially as I've gotten older, um, I'll go to bed pretty easy most of the time, but then I'm awake around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's like clockwork, and up for an hour to 2 hours, and yeah, just try to. Then yeah, it's definitely on and off throughout the night, but
Yeah.
I think that could be an age thing too. But I do notice spasms kind of kicking up. Um, but just being awake, and I try to stay off my phone too when I get up and not sit the bed up and lay there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. They do say that electronics, turn off the TV, radio and things like that. But I know for me, mine started, well, it's noticeable to me since I retired because I had the same issue before when I was working. I worked early hours. I started work at 4 in the morning and usually worked a 12-hour day or whatever. And so when I got home, I had my dinner, kicked back a little bit, then fell asleep. But I'd wake up early, like at 1 o'clock to, because I had to get ready. And so, but it was fine then because when I woke up, I'm ready to go. I'm not tired feeling or anything like that. So move ahead these 8, 9 years. Now I'm doing the same thing. I'm falling asleep earlier. I try to fall asleep around 8:30, 9 o'clock is kind of when I uh, have my time to just knock myself out with just to get some sleep. But I'm up 3.5, 4 hours later, and I'm wide awake. Now, if I had something to do, I could get up and do it and function. But I kind of just I get on the TV, listen to the news, which I fall asleep listening to the news, which I don't think is good for me. But I'll start messing around on the phone when I'm awake, and then I get fired up on that, and so I have my program I do in the morning, and then by the time I get started, I'm okay. But during the middle of the day, when I get around that 2 o'clock mark, I start feeling tired, and that's where my body, the transfers get a little bit heavier and things like that. So I don't know, I take Tylenol once in a while if I have a busy day and a little achy. Also, I'll take a Tylenol. But what's funny now is as I get older, Tylenol can put me to sleep or will help me sleep, but it doesn't
Yeah,
keep me asleep. You know?
I've done that to get to sleep as I've
Yeah,
occasionally,
yeah,
if I'm having a really rough week or something, I'll, instead of some kind of a sleep thing, I'll take a couple Tylenol and you're right,
yeah,
it helps you get to sleep, but yeah, it doesn't keep you to sleep.
yeah. What
Do you
about you,
guys
Shawn? You
find
take?
that you need a certain amount of sleep? Like, are you like some people need more sleep than others?
Yeah, I can function. It's just that I do put my, it just depends on what's going on. If I'm doing something I really enjoy and then it's, it's getting later and all that kind of stuff, I'm good. But it's just as a routine day is when I start feeling being tired like that because of not getting that sleep that I need, you know. Like I said, I mean, I get up early, so then it's not like I can sleep in because I kind of want to stick to my program. I don't want to get that too far out of whack because I'm still doing just trying to get that in order. But hey, Bobby, what's going on?
Not
How's the
much,
Bobby?
ladies. What's going on? Sorry
Just
to
just
ladies.
no problem. We're just getting started here. Just kind of talking about. I was just sharing my issues with my sleep, lack of sleep, and staying asleep and things like that. So I know we've talked about this before, just personally, but I know you kind of experience the same thing, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to sleep during this show if I can. So if my eyes are open
Yeah,
and I'm talking, I'm probably not functioning because right now I probably since Sunday night I probably have about 6 hours of sleep under me.
oh man, yeah, you
Yeah,
got a lot going on. A lot
You're
going
yeah,
running.
on.
yeah. So a lot going on, and just another thing to tell the audience later on down the road. Let's not do it today. Um, But yeah, when you're running around and I don't know even where you guys are, but I'll tell you one thing: the things that I had to accomplish today. I hit a small little ramp, done it a billion times over at this place, and I couldn't get up it. I'm just because I'm tired, and
Yeah.
it's gonna zap the energy if you're not getting proper sleep, and
Yes. Yes.
you
Definitely.
know, think about the strength that you can lose uh, and everything going on. So yeah, it's sleep. I'm sure we can start with the importance and not to barge in here and start talking my ass off. So I'll let you guys lead, and then I'll kind of catch in here.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
what we were just saying is because I kind of kicked off with what I'm dealing with. I know we read the article and things like that. And my problem is I can get up and function and do fine. I'm fine in the morning because all my activities and appointments are made early in the morning. So I'm fine. It's when I hit that like 2 o'clock mark or whatever that I
Mhm.
start feeling that lack of sleep. I mean, my strength in my arms getting the transfers and stuff. I mean, I'll do them, but they get really hard. In the morning, pretty easy because I'm still fresh. But as the day goes on, but if I'm doing something like when we went out that one Friday night, I mean, nothing's different there in the change. It just said it was something that I enjoyed. We're having a good time, but when I got home, that's when it all hit me. It really zaps you because you push yourself and you're distracted because you're having a good time, couple of cocktails here and there, whatever. But when you finally shut down and just to change, to get undressed and that's where I really feel it. And so by that time, I'm ready to sleep. And that's why I fall asleep sometimes at 8:30. But by then, if I fall asleep like that, I'm up at midnight, 12:30. So there's other things that I've been trying that puts me to sleep. But I'll take, like I was just saying, I take a Tylenol that'll just help me with the little aches and pains, and so now with my aging, they help me sleep. And I used to be able to eat Tylenol all the time, man, without any falling asleep. I used to take them for fevers and stuff, but now it's just like almost a sleeping pill, but it doesn't keep me to sleep. And Paul was kind of shared the same thing with him.
Yeah,
Well, and,
yeah,
I mean, basically, I'm sure the audience can and just briefly seeing just 10 going. I'm lucky if I get three. I think in the spinal cord realm and as even disability realm, we don't get sleep like everybody else does. Spasms is a big thing. Turning those who have to cath and wake up to do a
yeah.
cath. I mean, so granted, we just don't get sleep. And
Well,
go ahead.
well, there's one thing there's one thing I read that says T6 and above, because of certain issues, because of spasticity, because of pain, because of bladder and all that stuff. But like for me, I'm a T12. Okay, I don't have to wake up to cath or anything like that. I cath before I go to sleep, and I limit my water, and I can go, bunch of cc's before I have to void. And I void when I first wake up in the morning, when I finally get out of bed or whatever. But so the pain thing, I have the pain, but I'm kind of experimenting. I mean, I'm not. I've been dealing with cannabis for a long time, but I find out more and more that I do a vape or the drops or something like that, along with the Tylenol, and that puts me to sleep. It just depends on how long, when I take it, because I could fall asleep on my own. That's not a big deal. It's that staying asleep that's the issue. So I'm finding a little bit more success with the cannabis, but the thing is um, when I wake up, I still feel a little cloudy, and I don't like that feeling, especially if I have something to do. If I don't have anything to do, I can shake it off. But if I have something to do or go to a doctor's appointment or things like that, I do feel that little cloudiness. And I mean, it doesn't stop me, but you really got to push yourself a little bit harder to get through that.
Yeah, I
I
thought,
think I don't care what products you use, if it's gummies, vaping,
Yeah,
Mickey asked something about sleep well, anything. The next day you are kind of on the groggy side. I think
yeah, yeah,
that is for me, and I am not going to say that for everybody, but um, I'll feel better if I'm kind of like Ken there, 3 hours, and I wake up and I'm like, well. Um, Okay, don't go back to sleep because then I know I'll feel worse. But I at least I feel good enough to function through the day. But if I have one of those sleeping aids, then I'm run down. Even though I probably got a good 6 hours sleep, I'm just run down all day.
yeah, yeah. I know when I do have in the morning, if I feel, because I try not to take any uh, drops or anything like that. But in the morning when I do wake up, I drink that B12 drink, that Zip Fizz, and that helps me a lot because that's like a good 6 hour run there because it's all B12, 46,000 units. Because I don't drink coffee or caffeine or anything like that. So that kind of helps a little bit. So what do you guys use? What do you do?
well, I don't do anything. What I've noticed now that I've gotten older is that, and especially with some of these bladder issues, that I wake up at night because I have to pee. If I
Yeah,
get, even if I don't drink in the evening, I'll
yeah,
still wake up because I've got AD because I got to pee at 2 in the morning, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes it'll be 700 cc's. I've had 1,000 cc's. It's like, holy crap.
yeah.
But it's
So
kind of
so
hard
it's yeah,
to drain.
yeah. That's a
Again.
lot. Yeah,
Then it wakes me
Well,
up. Then I go back to sleep for a while.
the reason why you might get that, Paul, and I've kind of discovered for myself, and I think I heard a doctor say, it's like, yeah, because you're retaining water throughout the day. A lot of us with poor circulation, might retain a lot of water. So, yeah, that's one corporate cause of why you might get so much in the middle of the night. Um, you're kind of quiet over there, Mister
just
Mister
mutes.
Chair Life.
Oh no,
He's on nap. He's on nap.
hey
What? Do
Paul.
you get like 12 hours of sleep and you don't even know what to say here? Like these guys.
Hey Paul. So when you have to cath, do you just have to sit the bed up and get all your
No,
stuff and everything,
no,
or
I figured out years and years ago. I figured out how to do it laying down on my side.
ah, that's cool. So you don't
So
have to sit up.
yeah, it's not disruptive. Well, I mean, it's disruptive, but it's not super disruptive. Um,
Uh,
and cath, and then I can go back to sleep fairly easily after that. But staying asleep, it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah,
and that
most
Well,
sleep
yeah,
up until then is rough.
yeah. And then with having the bladder issues, your UTI stuff. I mean that's a little more intense. So you have to,
Yeah,
um, because I know when I was dealing with mine, I would get up. I don't know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. or whatever, and cath. But by the time I cath, because I have to get out of bed, get in the chair, and cath when I'm sitting up, and I was wide awake. Then I go, there's no sense of going back to sleep. I wasn't going to take any more, no more shut eye.
yeah.
yeah
Fortunately, I don't
friends.
have to do that. That's good. Then.
Yeah.
My friends that I know, they have to sit up and calf, and they can't do, doing it on your side. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Kind of,
There's no way.
yeah. I don't sit up. I really have difficult doing it. I can calf, but then, yeah, it's just they got the urinal and the and stuff, and it just turns into a. So I just try to wait, and
Yeah.
just minimize a little bit before I go to sleep. But um, what about sedatives? You guys take any type of sedatives to try to sleep or anything like that? I mean, I'll take a
Yeah.
melatonin once in a while,
Yeah.
but that's
See,
really
My
all.
wife,
melatonin doesn't really work for me. It doesn't keep me asleep.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed things about that one. No, I've never actually tried anything. I've tried like non-medication. I've tried some other things. Like I've tried a few different breathing strategies, like the box breathing, 4-4-4-4 before I go to sleep to calm myself down. Just lay on my back and do that. That's helped. Different types of meditation before bed has helped, and I know Bobby and I have talked a little bit about this before. That does help me. It's sometimes it works better than others, depending. I think it depends on the day or depends on what's going on too. I find I sleep better when I don't have a bunch of stuff going on at work or I
Yeah.
don't have to go to work the next day, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes that helps. Not always, but sometimes.
Well, it seems like if I wake up, well, when I wake up during the night, man, my brain's going. I wake up, I get my sleep. First few hours is good sleep. If it'd be like that another couple hours, I think I'd be good. But once I wake up, man, all of a sudden, all this stuff's going on, whether it's something that's bothering you or something that you have to plan, or and then I can't settle it down, unless I'm super super tired. But man, that's not often.
Well, it seems like when you're really tired, that's when you definitely can't go to sleep.
Yeah,
But I'm like you, my body is radiating. It's like, and
yeah, yeah.
it takes a while to sleep. But Derek, I don't know how you listen to music going to sleep. I can't.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I tried that. No way. But what I do is I'll listen to books on tape. That usually gets my mind not thinking about the day or the next day. So that kind of helps. And then I'm trying to, like, once in a great while, I'll grab one of my wife. She has a anti anxiety pill, like a real mild one, and I'm drawing the name blank on the name. Oh, geez. But
Well,
like,
well,
she
I,
can
I
function. It just relaxes me enough to get fall asleep a little bit quicker.
yeah. Well, I looked up some stuff here and just on the on the internet and stuff, and there was one about sleep behavior adjustments. So it talks about sleep hygiene, it's called, and it's a term healthcare providers use to describe behaviors that can improve sleep quality and quantity. Sleep hygiene behaviors include set and keep a consistent sleep schedule, gradually move your bedtime, make time to get through sleep. I'm sorry, make time to get enough sleep, have a bedtime routine, avoid bright lights and electronic screens close to bedtime, avoid alcohol and meals, and limit fluid intake close to bedtime, and use your bedroom for sleeping or intimate activities only. So I think I violate. I think I violate every one of those.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Well,
Like,
Nick
one of
in the
the
chat.
biggest thing is do not turn on your TV. Do not look at your phone. Try not to
I,
grab it. And I mean, we're all products of it and
I
stuff
do
like
that.
that.
Man, I do that too. I'll go down a rabbit hole in one of these social media. It's like
Yeah.
at
That I
that
won't
time.
do. I'm dedicated enough to not go on, Instagram or get open up anything with news, especially because that will,
Oh
like,
man.
yeah, you
Yeah,
might as well. But
Bobby, do
I've been
you get
a
up when you
comedian.
wake up
Like,
at night?
well, I'm
what's
getting ready
that?
to watch a
Do you,
comedian.
if you wake up in the night, do you sit your bed up, or do you have a bed the that comes up?
Yeah, and I can control it through my phone. So
Uh-huh.
I try not to sit up, but I'm like Leon just said it. When I wake up, my head is going like a million miles an hour,
Yeah.
and it's like, shit, and that's usually
Yeah.
around 2 o'clock. And then I might drift off again around 5, but I have my alarm go off at 5:30 no matter what. And that's part of what you were reading, Robert. I tried, and I was always an early riser. I just
Yeah,
want to, I
yeah,
want to get going. And I want to read, a little news, what I can, this or that, and get my day going, and figure out what I got to do. Um, so I'm just consistent on that, and somewhat consistent on getting into the bed. Now, going to bed, I make sure I do. My TV is not on anything past 11 or 11:30,
yeah,
especially not 11:30.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the being over here in Texas. So right now it's 5:30 or it's fixing to be 6. So I love to watch the Dodger games at night because I can put them on. They come on they sometimes come on like 9:30 my time, and they end at 12. So I'll put that on. I'll set the sleep timer for 2 hours and just fade in and out of that and
Yeah.
eventually go to sleep. And, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
do.
I know a lot of people. Oops, go ahead, Paul.
I don't turn the TV on at all when I get into bed. I've tried. It just doesn't work for me. So when I'm in bed, I shut everything off.
Well,
I
Yeah,
just,
I violate that. I'm on my phone, TikTok,
I
watching
leave my
TV and
phone
stuff.
on my bed. I leave
Jeez,
my
man.
phone in the bathroom.
The
Phone
only
in the
thing I don't have to do
bathroom.
is get up and cat. That's the only thing. Everything else,
Yeah,
oh my
well,
goodness,
you
I
know,
got shit going on, man.
I wish I could
Dreams.
get up when I wake up in the morning or in the at like 3 o'clock. It'd be nice to be able to get up and maybe walk around a little bit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Just kind of stretch it out and um, yeah, go even
Well,
outside, get some air and stuff, and then go lay back down. But hell, laying there is just like shit.
yeah,
It's
yeah. Well, I know because Bobby says how he likes to get up 5:30. See, my thing, I like to be awake. It doesn't necessarily mean that I got to get out of bed, but my awake time is 4 a.m. no matter what. So if I can get somewhere close, sometimes I think it's a bonus if I can get to sleep. If I can wake up somewhere around three between 3 and 3:30, I'm good. But it's that from 12:30, 1 o'clock that I'm laying there, maybe trying to doze. And it seems like the harder you try to sleep, the harder it gets to fall asleep. You're sitting there, and then because I'll have the TV off or I'll turn it on or whatever. And like I said, I think, but like we mentioned at the beginning, the aging as we get older. Because I remember my grandmother and stuff. She'd get a few hours and she'd be up walking around and stuff like that. And my old man, he was my old man would function. I mean, a lot of hours a day on like 3 4 hours sleep because he'd be getting calls all night. I remember him the phone ringing and him going in early because there's some type of thing going on. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I do okay. It's just later in the day. Uh, it's just my arms get heavy, my legs get heavy, just me transferring, and just it's just not good. It's not good for you. There's a lot
what,
of things that can.
what about the position you guys sleep in? Like Mickey had asked earlier there in the chat about spasms and do you guys sleep on your back, on your sides, on your stomach? Like
Uh,
how do people sleep?
sides and back for me. I can't sleep on my stomach. I can't sleep prone.
Side and back for me too.
Yeah,
I stay on my back. I just start on my back and I stay on my back. I
yeah,
just
I
I,
started on that, but I
if I
can't
try to
stay.
go on my side, somewhere the next hour or two, my shoulders are, starting to bug me.
yeah,
And then I roll on my back, and then I'm like, oh, okay, okay. And then
yeah.
that's good.
I think that's
it's a
why I've got back problems just because I'm twisted. Because I'll start on my back,
Yeah,
spasm up on my side, but then I'll roll over to my back, but only
but
my
you're still
shoulders
on your
are on
hips,
my
like yeah,
back,
right. You
are
kind
on the side still. And
yeah, you kind of do half hip and half back and on your back. Yeah,
oh yeah, so you're kind
yeah,
of half
it's
on your back, half not. That's
yeah, yeah.
I wake my wife up and ask her to straighten my legs out so I can get straight. I don't know why
Yeah,
she's still married to me,
Yeah,
but
I get those
I,
spasms sometimes at night where my ankles will get on top of each other, and then get a mild little bit of AD in the morning or throughout the night, and it's like
Yeah.
I'll sit the bed, and this doesn't happen often, but then if it does, I'll have to sit the bed up and then readjust, try to pull the leg off. It's a pain in my neck, and then get it right again. But or if
yeah,
my dog jumps in the bed and he wants to lay on my leg,
Now, do you guys fidget a lot through your sleep? I mean, are you going constantly back, side, and that, or do you find yourself pretty
Think
much?
so. Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah,
What about
Oh,
sensation? I've got
plus,
sensation. And I got sensation. So when I flip over, and if my ankle is on top of my knee or on top of the other leg and the calf, or my knee digs into something, then it hurts.
yeah.
So it actually is painful, or my hip will start hurting, depending on the position. So,
yeah, and
so
I flipped my pillow like 1,000 times,
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
like for a little bit, like, ooh, it's cool over there. Oh, now I'm
yeah,
cold,
yeah,
but I want, and I
yeah,
got I put blanket on, then I'm off, and then I'm on, and then this one, I like, starts licking throughout the night, and it's like, and then if I
yeah.
tell her to
It
be
takes me
quiet,
with you.
the other one jumps on the bed and checks if I'm okay because I'm telling her, knock it on. Yes, you. So if
See, I don't
anybody
know how
wants
you
to
do
check
that.
on
I don't.
our,
No pets in my bed. No pets. No
yeah,
kids in my bed.
I love it,
You
and I
keep my
and I
wife,
wish
that's it.
I love having my dogs, but then I wish sometimes I'm like I wish I didn't. But
Well,
and I,
yeah,
if
and
anybody
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with them on there.
and I want to
Hey,
yeah.
ask in our chat land if anybody has a pillow they love, please let me know because if I buy another pillow, my wife's gonna kill me. That I'm like, no, I got to take this one back.
I'll
I
send
just
Yeah.
you one
cannot
of the.
find.
What about
What's that?
Yeah.
mattresses? What kind of mattresses? You guys got soft mattresses, hard mattresses?
I got an extra firm. I sleep on an extra firm.
That's what I used to be on, was extra firm. I've settled down now a little bit to kind of still firm, but a little softer than extra
Yeah,
firm
yeah.
for sure.
But
I,
so the thing is like I said, I right now the best thing for me is the cannabis, the THC piece in terms of sleeping. That is what I get most out of it. Just that, it just depends on what I got going on and what time. Because
Mhm.
my thing is the first falling asleep really isn't the issues, and I can get at least 3 hours sleep. It's when I wake up, I need to take something then to go back to sleep that won't inhibit me when I want to wake up and function, or not feel, a little cloudy or anything like that. So that's what I got to regulate or find out what I can do for that. Because like I said, cannabis is what helps me. It's got to have that THC, the not just CBD stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking earlier before we got on live here, Robert, about circadian rhythm.
Yeah, yeah,
And I had
yeah.
just
So
listened
that
to,
was, yeah. I never heard about that. And like you said, you knew a little bit more about it than what we read.
it's just
What is
interesting. I
that?
listened to a podcast recently. It's your circadian, I'll probably butcher this because I'm not 100% sure myself, but what I understand is your circadian rhythm is your natural sleep rhythm, and you want to have like the idea of going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time. And if
Right.
that gets out of whack, like Robert, you said when you were working, you were up early to bed early, up early to bed early,
Yeah.
and then and that's where people can get out of whack if they have a regular work schedule and then weekend or holiday schedules, they get all out of whack or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's
This,
where I try to catch up on sleep.
And I mean,
yeah, so
that's what sometimes can ruin your like little vacations and stuff like that when you're used to getting up at a certain time, but now you got to catch the morning flight, so you're up at 4:30, and you're like not used to it, and it can really throw it off. So not only that you might have traveled to change time zones, but you've also whacked that out, like you said, Paul, um, and I think that's why. I mean, I try to keep no matter what, not look at phone, not do anything between the 11 and 5:30. No matter what, I will wait until my 5:30. My phone comes on at 5:30, and then I will look at it. I do my best to not at least lay there and feel like I'm resting.
hmm
hey, Derek, I read what you wrote in the chat. Hell, feed that dog, Derek, so it won't be hungry.
Did you read that? Look, the puppy chewed
yeah,
his fingertips, man.
Feed that dog, Derek. Shit, hungry.
But anyway, we're talking about that disrupted circadian rhythm. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah.
that includes like insomnia, sleep apnea, all kind that kind of stuff, right? But also it includes lack of physical activity. So I don't know what the
It's kind of your whole day from, the time you get up to the
yeah,
time you have a whole 24-hour cycle. What does that look like? And
yeah,
well, the article we're talking about is in New Mobility, and they do mention the idea of physical activity and how important it is, and how it can help your sleep. You know, back to that
I,
circadian rhythm, that info I found on the circadian rhythm, or the podcast I listened to. What the guy did is he was trying. It was actually a tested therapeutic method because he was trying to get his circadian rhythm back in order, and they made him stay up later for a week to it was kind of to reset himself. I think it was a week or 2 weeks or something where he would stay up and looking at his profile, he stayed up an hour and a half later than he normally did, but he got up at the same time. So he ended up going to bed at 11:30 and getting up at 6. Going to bed at 11:30 because he usually went to bed at 10.
hmm
So do that for a week, and then after that, slowly went back to the regular schedule of 10 to 6. And he said it worked for him. Readjusted that sleep pattern. No,
yeah.
I,
It's kind of similar to when people have jet lag, right?
yeah, yeah, because it throws your body out of whack. Yeah, same,
As,
That's because
same.
have you guys tried a sleep study at all, or anybody out there in our TV land, and and are using a CPAP?
yeah,
no,
I've known people that use it, but
Yeah,
um,
I've known people use it, but I've never tried.
And what about naps? I know a little bit earlier everybody was
yeah.
talking about a nap, a good nap. Do you guys nap?
I do, but I hear it because I don't really follow any type. I hear that if you have a power nap, like they say 15, 20 minutes is fine, but
Yeah,
if I take a nap, man, I nap however, you know, and it I'll do that. I would in fact getting into a habit. But the thing is, what I wanted to address what Paul was saying about changing your sleep pattern at night. When I'm tired, I know when I'm tired. I know when I'm ready to fall asleep. That to have to extend that another hour or hour and a half, that's rough right there. Because I know I'm done. I mean, uh, I just know my body's ready to say, okay, you're done, and I'll roll to my side and I'll fall right asleep.
yeah,
Robert, you mentioned you go to bed early. I go to bed. I try to go to sleep too early, around 9. If I get in bed about 9, and I'm tired, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
exactly.
right away, pretty much by 9:30, 10, I'm asleep. I've often wondered if maybe if we stayed up later, if we would
Yeah,
sleep, throughout. But
yeah. That's just hard though,
oh,
man. And when I'm
that's
tired, I'm
yeah,
tired, man.
yeah, me too. When I lay down, I want to go to sleep. I'm done.
Yeah, yeah,
I try
No,
staying up later.
I have a theory. If Olivia, you said it earlier. Your bedtime is 2:30, or I don't know if it's 2:30 or that's the time you fall asleep. But I'd be just curious and wondering what time you wake up, because, I mean, I know a lot of, not a lot, but I have some friends, they're up till 1, 2, even like my grandson, even as a kid, and he doesn't have a disability, but, you know, during the summer, he's up till 2. And of course, you can't get him up at a decent hour, meaning 7,
Hmm.
8. And I mean, those are decent hours, but I just think the later you go, the later you're just going to be in bed sleeping
right,
in.
right. I kind of
Yeah,
that too.
and I know I'm not a morning person, and I would like to be, but
Yeah,
I'll wake up. I mean, I'll wake up at 6 and be wide awake. But if I fall back to sleep before getting back up, then I mean that messes me up for the day. Might not get up till 8,
yeah.
8:30,
I see.
like that.
Yeah, and I don't like that feeling. I feel like I lost a step the
Oh,
whole day. I have
yeah,
to have that little routine piece that, like I said, I'm a morning person. So that's why all my appointments are in the morning and stuff like that. I don't have a problem being, other than dealing with the program, how that goes. But I always feel if I'm not even close to my regular routine, I'm struggling the rest of the day because I feel like I'm off beat there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I wake up, I want to get up, though. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't go back to
That's
sleep. When I wake up, I want to get up.
yeah,
well. Sometimes on the weekend, I do like to sit there. I'm spoiled. My wife will bring my coffee in bed. Even during the week, she still does. So I am spoiled. But um, what was I going to say? But I don't know about you guys, or this is for you, Chad. I want to get out of my chair by 8:30, no matter what. I am struggling. I mean, chronic pain is just it's krypton. There's, my wife's like, we're done. We've cleaned up kitchen. I've had I have every night I go to bed. I have a dark chocolate covered pretzel. I eat that and then go take my meds and brush my teeth. And if it's 9 o'clock, I'm starting to get cranky because I just can't take it. And there's no way we're gonna watch TV, or start a show or anything like that. I'm like, no, can we go and get out of my chair, please?
yeah, yeah. What about what about falling asleep in your chair when you're sitting? You kind of trying to, because like for me, I'll be sitting in my chair and I'll be in my room watching TV, but I feel okay, and then all of a sudden I start dozing off in my chair, and then I say, okay, it's time for me. I'm gonna get into bed or something just to get off my ass or something,
Because I
and then I
wake up
can't
like
then I can't fall asleep. I get
well,
into bed and I can't.
I wake up like this, and then I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
shit. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Or you,
shit.
yeah, or
And
you,
I can't feel my arm
yeah,
because I
yeah.
was like this,
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
you doze off sitting in your chair and you catch yourself because you're going forward. But then I try to next transfer I have to do to get into bed is one of my worst transfers because I don't know what it done to my body. But yeah,
Oh
but
no,
I
I
catch
catch my
myself going
dead arm.
forward.
Like my arm falls asleep because I'm
Yeah,
supporting myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I have this blanket holder, and basically we call it, the pile. We call it the pile because the blankets are there, but then our dirty clothes is there, our laundry that we need to fold are there, so it just becomes a big pile. And it's nice because it's so cushiony, and I'm like, oh. And then I wake up and I cannot feel my arm. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so scared it's going to be paralyzed for life.
Terrible feeling.
And Mickey, I
So,
sleep on a sleep number, so I'm in between where like I can have mine firm or soft. And if
yeah,
anybody's curious, my number is 40.
40.
Great.
That's pretty soft. Is it out of 100?
Yeah, 40 out of 100. I like it a little bit on the soft side.
When I had my sleep number, I had mine at 80.
Yeah. Oof.
I
yeah.
know I wanted
It's
it hard.
But
yeah
when I am
because it's
trying to
easier to
lift my
move, right?
well, and I think I get a little bit of sharing, and I don't think I know because it is so soft. So then when I'm trying to get into my chair in the morning,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just like, I'm not getting a much of a lift to get over there.
But
yeah.
that's the
You
beauty about that sleep number. It's easy to pump up if you want to pump it up to transfer out or soften it up when you're in bed.
Yeah, and then, but yeah, that would be the ideal, right, Paul?
Yeah,
But
that's what
then
I
it's like
used to do. I would
up and
soften it.
down, up and down.
My kid's got mine now. She loved it. She took ours and we got a regular mattress. But,
Why'd you get rid of your sleep number then?
because I wanted a bed that would come up and down. The sleep number didn't. It's just a flat bed.
Oh, and so when you went out and got a new one, instead of paying for the sleep number that does that, like I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got a regular one that did. Because the one we got actually goes up and down like height wise.
yeah,
Plus
yeah.
the head goes up. Plus the legs go up.
Yeah, that's what I got. But the thing is, what I find out because when I first got it, I was using it here and there, but I stopped using the sitting position because the whole purpose of me getting into bed is to get off my butt because I'm sitting all
Yeah.
day. And then I'm in bed and I'm propping it up. And I get that feeling on my butt, where I just been sitting too long. So that's why I recline it back. Now I do like a little bit of the legs elevated a little bit, but I
Yeah, I like the
I
legs.
don't.
I use that more than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you bring up a good point, Robert, with that as far as sitting up. with insomnia that I have in the middle of the night, I try to be mindful of how long I've sat up.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at night, when I go to bed, I'll sit up for a little bit, maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I'll lay the bed back down.
Yeah.
But then in the night, at that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock time that I wake up, I'll sit that bed up. And so, yeah, we're not sitting. I'm on a 4-inch piece of memory foam, is what my bed
Yeah.
is. It's a
Yeah.
mattress, but on top of it. And yeah, I'm real mindful of that. How long? Hell, I can go down a wormhole on TikTok. I mean, I'd be on
Yeah.
that. Man, I can be on
Do
that.
That's me. That's
Chad-
me, man.
Chad,
It's like,
do you guys use booties for your ankles, protect your heels or your ankles?
Some,
No.
yes, I do sometimes. Or sheepskin, just a sheepskin. I prefer sheepskin blanket. The booty I'll use if my ankle, because I got a spot on my one ankle. If it's bad, if it's kind of inflamed, I'll put the booty on. But again, because I got sensation, after a few nights wearing that booty, it actually bothers me. It's
Yeah.
like it gets
Yeah.
sweaty or something. But I'll put a sheepskin under that foot instead.
Mm.
What do you guys use sheepskin to sleep on at all, or ever lay on it, or anything like that?
Mine's a lambskin. It's just a small
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I
Because
sit under my foot, my leg.
because I got one probably about, I guess last summer. I got a sheepskin, a pretty big size to lay on. Man, that is nice because my thing is I get hypersensitivity on my between my waistline and my tailbone. So sometimes
Yeah.
a wrinkle there's bugging the shit out of me, or
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
my shorts and my the elastic waistband. No matter
Yeah.
what's going on there, it feels like something's just jabbing me. So I got
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
that sheepskin's pretty nice because it doesn't wrinkle up, and it's pretty soft, And I remember when I first doing my rehab, they used to have us sleep on sheepskins, you know. But so I've been doing that off and on, but I'm not doing it every night like I really thought I would be doing. But
Well,
it
you
helps.
remember back in the day, it was the egg crate. They had us sleep on egg
Yeah.
crate, or in
Yes.
rehab. I think that's what it was. Egg crate in rehab.
Yeah. See, mine was the sheepskin. They just had us on sheepskin, and it was the real sheepskin. It wasn't the synthetic. It was the hide
Yeah.
one.
I think that's what mine's a real high. Mine's real
Yeah.
sheepskin. I don't know about
hey,
my boots. I think they're real too.
you
Australian
guys,
sheepskin.
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all mentioned a little bit about temperature. Um, with being cold or being hot. Do you notice on a hot day you may go to bed and that takes a while. That blood starts moving out about the bottom of your legs, or
Yeah.
where I notice it is on the cold. In the winter. My
Yeah.
legs have built
That's
up
the
being
worst.
cold, and so hell, I get in the bed and that blood starts moving through my body. Hell, it takes forever. I just
Oh,
lay
no,
there.
the winter,
That's my experience
yeah,
with the cold.
wintertime is the worst for sleep because you're right,
Yeah.
Chad. It's a half an hour later. Next thing you know, you're just like
Hey,
doing this. You're trying to warm. You're moving
Yeah.
your, I'm wrapping my blanket over the top, or you're
I
putting
did
your,
too.
yeah.
Right, tent
Oh
like
my
that.
I got the
God.
heat bag right here on my chest.
Yeah.
I got the heat
Oh,
bag there.
yeah.
Warming up here.
How
In
about
the winter time, my legs get ice cold. No matter. So I sleep with sweats on, full socks and stuff, and then a blanket laying over mostly just from my waist down because they just I mean, you can't touch them. They're like an ice cube, man. The circulation is pretty bad.
And
what?
I don't know if Leah just put in that for Shawn uses these socks to help his, to not be so sensitive and kick off his spasms. But I don't, the article I read, I forward you guys, and you can find this article about Sleep
Yeah.
Anywhere and New
New
Mobility
mobility.
Magazine,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
might have mentioned that, but they were talking about even then creative might be necessary. Alex used to wake up from dysreflexia caused by spasms twisting his hips until he figured out how to use snowboard straps and a towel to
Yeah.
secure his legs
Yeah.
in bed.
Yeah.
Like, you're using those bindings, like, and I'm
I
like,
know.
when I read that, I thought about Shawn going, well, I've seen Shawn spasms, like, yeah, tie that motherfucker down, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Shawn break his neck on a snowboard?
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
go
yeah,
figure, huh?
yeah. Strap in, Shawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going
Yeah,
for a
and
ride.
Derek, we do this is in my bathroom is got the biggest glass wall and it's all tile because it's a roll-in. So everything is tile. So in the winter, our bedroom is so cold. So yeah, Derek, I turn on a heater, a space heater in the bathroom, shut the door. So when we go in, it's at least 76 degrees, and it's not that tile isn't so cold. So yeah, we have to use the but I can't sleep with the portable heater on because it just dries you out too much. Like,
Yeah,
you'll,
yeah,
Yeah, way too dry.
yeah.
I gotta use a portable heater at work all the time because the air conditioning is so
Yeah,
freaking
during
hot.
like under my office, it's like summer. I mean, yeah, summer fan, winter heater. So
Yeah.
I have to go through both. They just sit there, stay there all year.
You were saying earlier, Bobby, about getting out of bed because you get sore and stuff, and that's what I find too. Is I can't sit up as long as I used to. Like I sit up for 16 hours a day, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But now I find if I even shift my position in my chair, it helps though. So if I'm starting to wind down, I'll slide my butt forward in my chair and slouch, which isn't good for you, but kind of sit slouch and change the pressure points on my butt. That helps, but it feels so much better just to get out of my chair.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. What have any of you guys tried? I know, like listening to music, some people do. I think Derek mentioned that. But what about some of these applications out there, like with wind noise, wave noise?
Oh, it's
Calm.
called white noise. White noise
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a
Yeah.
good app.
Have you used that?
That's what it's kind of that's what the book is. I'll find a book, and I'll find a book I've listened to many times, especially when I'm having a hard time sleeping. So I don't have to pay as much attention. And
Yeah,
there's one book. Um, it was the movie The Martian, and there's two versions. There's a Europe like an Englishman reading it, and then they have a he was an actor on Star Trek, like the TV series. I'm drawing a blank of his name. Also on Big Bear, but he reads it, and because I've listened to it so many times, like his voice just it does it just right for me to fall
yeah,
asleep.
yeah.
No
Makes me
white
sleep.
noise. We tried that waves, having waves or a fan on. It's just like no. And then I
I
used to
don't.
hear creak or thunder. The rain.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
always waiting for the thunder to come. Like, okay, where's the thunder? So
Anticipation
I'm like,
there, huh?
nope, that's not going to work.
I've tried the white noise. My girls use white noise to sleep, or they have a fan or something going all the time. But I don't like the white noise stuff.
do you
But
have a
the meditation stuff where you do like a kind of a whole body scan and the breathing just without any noise, I find that helps the most for me. Again, it's not perfect, but sometimes it's better. Sean's talking about green noise. Boy, I've never heard of green noise. What's that?
You might
Grass?
have had the color mixed up. I don't know.
No, I
Maybe
know what white noise is. I've never heard of green noise.
no.
But do you guys get and I heard this is more of a quad thing, but ringing in your ears?
Especially
So
if I've been at like a restaurant or if it's a concert, sporting event, um, at night, a football game, a professional football game or baseball game, and I come
mhm.
home, it's just yeah, I get the ringing and yeah, but I get a lot
that
of ringing, not
that's my
as bad during the regular time. Yeah.
and mine's a pulsing, like it's almost like blood pulsing, like it's a pulsing ringing,
Oh,
and I
like your
heard that
heart? Is
different.
it is it like your heart, like going dum dum dum?
It's not that kind. It's more like, well, maybe it is. I don't know, but the ringing can keep me up at night sometimes if it's dead quiet. That's where I think sometimes the noise helps people. But even right now, sitting here because I'm talking about it, my ears are like boom, boom,
Well,
boom.
because I know
I
sometimes medication it gives you certain ringing, the
yeah.
medications. I
And
take
I heard
Yeah.
high level injuries too with neck injuries can cause it.
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Bernard says he has that as well.
Yeah.
Um,
do
yeah.
y'all
So yeah,
sleep with a
tinnitus. or some kind of form it's anyways. If you have any solutions on how to fix it, love to hear them.
What
You
were you
you
going to say?
sleep on a fan, Bobby?
What's
You have
that?
a fan on in your room?
I have the ceiling fan. I can't have a fan directly on me, and even like it's so funny. During the warmer months, we have to have it on in our room. We got a higher ceilings in our bedroom, so it gets stuffy and hot in there a little bit easier. And I just find like after a while I need it off because it's like it's just too much. It's like I need a break from it, even though if I might not be, I still need the air. I need it off my body for a short time. And I think this year I'm gonna look into like having like a bottom mattress that will cool me down a little bit or keep me cool so I don't need it as much because I can't stand the fan after a while. Like I've even had it where I can't find my fan remote, and then I just start putting pillows on top of me because I just don't want it to hit my skin.
Oh, you're cold.
Are
Yeah.
you a fan person?
Mine makes a sound. Mine kind of creeps, makes a creeping sound. So I've kind of gotten, if I don't have it on, I don't. It's not directly on me where I get cold from it, but the sound that it makes kind of soothes. It kind of goes onto what
And I
y'all were
think
saying. The
yeah, I
sounds.
had a rugby friend, my buddy Jared. Every time we was my roommate travel when we ever did quad rugby, he had to have a white noise, but it had to be the fan, or he couldn't sleep. He's like, I have to have my fan on, and I'm like, well, we don't have a fan. He's like, no, my white noise. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I like to have my fan on.
Derek's talking about that ringing in my ears, blood pressure. I'm gonna look into that, Derek. Thanks for the tip. Got a blood pressure monitor, huh? See if that makes a difference.
Yeah, I take blood pressure medication. I always heard that that sometimes causes intermittent ringing in your ears.
Yeah.
and I
Interesting.
think we talked about this when we were talking about aging, but I'm super low at night, but then I'm on the higher side in the morning when I first wake up. But my
Yeah.
doctor said, don't take your blood pressure in the morning. It's not the proper reading. It's like I don't care if it's high in the morning. Get up or eat something, one little thing, and you'll find that and then take it throughout the day. If it's normal throughout the whole day, I don't care what it says in the morning. He goes, for you, that could be 100 different things. And then being on that seminar that we were on for aging, and I
Mhm.
asked the question, why am I high in the morning? And it seemed like a lot of people were. And I don't have high blood pressure. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's
Mine's
see
real.
who else we have out there.
Hey, you guys like at night when you're towards the end of the day, are you just wiped out? Are you wiped out? Man, I am wiped out at night.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah. Well, and
I find
again, I attribute that just because I'm not getting the sleep I need, and that's the thing. You got to push through some of this stuff. But like I said, when the last week when we went out on a Friday, I had the same amount of sleep. It's just that there was a distraction going on. I was having a good time, and but like I said, once I got home, I hit the wall, man. I was
yeah,
done.
yeah. That going out at night, that's fun and all, but hell, I mean, it's an effort
Yeah,
once you get
yeah,
home. You still got
getting
to
home.
get in bed, it's not like you
Yeah,
just get home and you lay down. Hell, you got a cat. You got to get home. You got a cat. Got to
yeah,
get into bed.
yeah. All the
You got
little procedure, the
you got to
routine,
get
man. Yeah,
undressed. You got to go, man. It's yeah.
gotta go to the day. You gotta go
That's
to
a
the
whole
day.
other, the whole
Day
other
drink.
deal going on
yeah.
once I get home.
That's funny.
reading just, and we got to wrap this up pretty soon here, but reading some of the tries to get on good habits. Put down the screen at least 30 minutes before bedtime. Read a book. I've been finding that I do read from my iPad, that it does make me sleepy. Um, Paul, practice breathing exercises. Do some gentle stretching. These activities can help calm your mind and your body and help you fall asleep faster. which if by anyone anybody wants to take our 5 o'clock class here on our time, but 8 o'clock East Coast time for exercise, that does the trick. The middle one it says here, this is a sucker. Limit your alcohol intake. So Robert, that didn't help us last week.
Yeah.
Um, so and I do notice that alcohol will wake you up no matter what.
Yeah.
And then it says stop with the afternoon coffee. I drink coffee every day, but the older I get, the old. But as I get older, my sleep is more affected by timing. So that's me. When I was in my 20s, I drink coffee all day. Now I can't drink coffee whatsoever.
I read somewhere a quote on that where it said it can take up to 10 hours to completely clear caffeine from your bloodstream.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes, I don't do caffeine.
Yeah.
What's the B12 drink you were talking about, Robert? That sounded interesting.
What was that?
The B12
Oh yes,
drink?
no, it's called Zip Fizz, and it's a small tube. So there's 30 tubes in a box, and it's like $30, $28. They sell it at Costco, and it's in different flavors. So what it is, it's primarily B12, but it's all the B complex pills, and you put it in a bottle of water, 16-ounce bottle of water, whatever. So I drink that in the morning if I need it or whatever, just for the energy during the day. So it's not a rush, it's not a crash, it's B12. It just kind of naturally feel you have your natural energy, and what your body doesn't use, you're gonna pee it out anyway. So, but it's pretty good. And I checked my gut. There's no caffeine, no sugars in it. It's for hydration and that energy. Zip Fizz, ZIPPFIZZ.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that.
I know some guys that were able-bodied that worked for me, and we were talking about it one time. A couple of the guys got into it, and they used to drink it when they go do their workouts and stuff. They go, it was great for that. And so you figure the energy is probably good for about 6, 7 hours of energy. So you can, like, if I do it in the morning when I wake up, or if I go when I go to church and stuff like that, I'll drink it around 7:30, 8 o'clock. So
Yeah.
it gets me through the day.
Cool.
Now Mickey's making me look it up. The Martian.
Oh.
Because Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, she said.
Yeah.
No, they have both. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. Read by. Shoot.
You want me to thank our sponsors, Bobby, while you're looking at that?
Yeah, do that, please.
Okay. All right. We'd like to thank our sponsors, mobility professionals and urology professionals. They are very good at what they do, and that is providing the best in a variety of durable medical equipment, along with excellent customer service. Mobility professionals is based here in Southern California region, so you can contact them if you are in need of a wheelchair or any other DME equipment. Their sister company, Urology Professionals, can help you with your catheter needs. They service nationally, so wherever you're at in the U.S., give them a call and check them out. Urology Professionals. Did you find it, Bobby?
No, I like. It's gonna bug me. Because
Right when we sign off, you're gonna remember it.
I know, but one, I can't remember, and two, I'll find it. It's the same guy. He read Ready Player One too, which was an awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking through the details, and it's not. Why is this not coming up? Oh, this is gonna bug me. Dang it, guys! Sorry.
So before we forget, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there coming up on Sunday. So
Yes, happy Father's Day.
yep. God, and it's already, and how fast this year's going already. I mean, we're in mid-June already. Man, oh man, what happened to the first part of the year?
Will Wheaton.
I know I haven't been sleeping. I know I haven't been sleeping through it.
Like I have, fortunately, I have like 500 books. So Will Wheaton.
Bobby, it's Will Wheaton.
See, if you don't get enough sleep, this is what happens. Your brain goes to mush. I'll tell you that. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, make sure you catch out our shows. We got coming up on Tuesday. I'll be back with Shawn. Hopefully, Tom is feeling better. He'll be back. So make sure you catch us on Tuesday for our regular show at 3:30, and then Wednesdays, Tom come cooking with Tom, and then next week it should be not rolling with the golden oldies. It should be our uh, real will. Thank you. Real Girl Talk. I always say real girl. So they'll be back. They're going to be on at 3 o'clock. They're always the third Thursday, and they're the only show that's at 3 o'clock. Um, so yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mickey, for the happy Father's Day.
Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, gang.
Yeah, I can't wait. My dad's
Yep.
going to go see my pops. So it should be a good
Yep.
day.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Take care.
Live
Live
to
and
roll,
roll.
gang.
Live to roll.